Hello students, in this video we will be learning about the chapter excretion in animal physiology. This is Dr. Hemlata A, Associate Professor in Zoology, Maharani Science College for Women, Bangalore. Excretion is the process in which the metabolic waste products are eliminated, and also the composition of the body fluids and tissues will be regulated and maintained in normal physiological range. The nitrogenous waste products are formed when the proteins are broken down. Proteins are organic compounds containing nitrogen, and the nucleic acids also contain nitrogen. So when proteins and nucleic acids are broken down, nitrogenous waste products are formed. So when the proteins are broken down, the amino acids can be used to either to make the structurally important proteins or functionally important proteins, or to synthesize the non-essential amino acids. But whatever amino acids are obtained when the proteins are broken down, those amino acids cannot be retained in the body, and the unwanted amino acids will be broken down, and when it is broken down, an amino group is removed from the amino acid. The process is called as deamination. This amino group is that becomes ammonium. Ammonium is toxic and it has to be eliminated as soon as it is formed. The ammonia can be eliminated as such, or it can be converted to urea or uric acid. Ammonia is the most toxic, followed by urea, and uric acid is least toxic compared to all the three nitrogenous waste products. In animals, when you look at the food, what is consumed by the animals, it is basically the carbohydrates, proteins and fats, which forms the macro composition of the food which is consumed. Out of that, the animals can store fats and carbohydrates, but they cannot store proteins or amino acids. Whatever amino acids is obtained by the catabolism of the proteins, that has to be utilized immediately. If it cannot be utilized immediately, then it should be broken down by the process of deamination. So as I told you, during deamination, amino groups are removed. When amino groups are removed from the amino acid, the remaining part of the amino acid can be used as energy source, or it can be converted into carbohydrate or fat. Based on what type of excretory product the animal will eliminate, there are different types of excretion found in the kingdom Animalia. So you can identify 5 basic types of nitrogenous excretion depending upon the type of the nitrogenous waste excreted. The major types are ammonotelism, ureotelism and uricotelism, and the minor types are aminotelism and guanotelism. Nitrogenous waste substances like ammonia, urea, uric acid are produced during the metabolism of the protein, and what is excreted as the end product depends upon the species of the different phyla, which we will be looking at in the coming slides. First, we will look at those organisms which will excrete ammonia as such. So, when the proteins are broken down, the unwanted amino acids, from that the amino group is removed, which is converted to ammonia, and those animals which excrete ammonia as such are called as ammonotelic, and the phenomenon is called as ammonotelism. Ammonium is highly soluble in water and it forms ammonia water, which is highly toxic and injurious to the cells, and it has to be removed as soon as it is formed. Since it is soluble in water, it requires a lot of water to be excreted, and generally animals which live in water, aquatic animals, can afford to excrete ammonia as such. So to name a few animals which excrete ammonia as such, we will see that throughout the animal kingdom, if you start from protozoans, in protozoans, amoeba and paramecium, in poriferans, cycon, in coelenterate, hydra, to name a few, then liver fluke, tapeworm, and ascaris in the helminthes, nereis, earthworm, leech in annelida, prawn in mollusca, prawn in arthropoda, pila in mollusca, labio, the bony fishes, the amphibian tadpoles, tailed amphibians like salamanders, crocodiles are some of the animals which will excrete ammonia as such, and they are aquatic, and excretion of ammonia requires lot of water which can be afforded by the aquatic animals. And here are some of the examples which are ammonotelic, excreting ammonia. In some animals who cannot afford to lose that much of water, ammonia will be converted to urea. Excretion of urea is called as ureotelic, and those which exhibit the elimination of nitrogenous waste in the form of urea, they are called ureotelic animals, and the phenomenon is called as ureotelism. Compared to ammonia, urea is less toxic. It is less soluble in water and it can be retained in the body for some time. Sharks will retain large quantity of urea in the blood, and this will help in maintaining the blood osmotic pressure, so that the osmotic pressure in the blood will be equal to that of the sea water, and as a result the water loss from the body can be avoided. So to avoid the loss of water from the body in the marine water, the sharks will retain urea in the blood, so that the osmotic pressure of the blood will be equal with that of the sea water. In ascaris and earthworm, they are both ammonotelic and ureotelic depending upon the availability of the water. If there is water available, they will be ammonotelic. If the water is not available, then they will be ureotelic, where they will be converting ammonia to urea. Cartilaginous fishes like sharks and stingrays, semi-aquatic amphibians like frogs and toads, aquatic or semi-aquatic reptiles like turtles, terrapins, alligators, man and all other mammals will come under ureotelism, where they are excreting urea as the main nitrogenous waste product. And in some species, ammonia will be converted to uric acid. Those which excrete uric acid as the nitrogenous waste product are called uricotelic animals, and the phenomenon is called as ureotelism. Animals which live in dry conditions will have to conserve water. They cannot afford to lose water, so they will absorb maximum amount of water from the nitrogenous waste and excrete the nitrogenous waste in the form of crystals, and here the ammonia is converted to uric acid, and uric acid is excreted in the form of crystals. Uric acid is non-toxic. It is almost insoluble in water. It can be kept in the body for a considerable amount of time. Some examples which excrete uric acid as the nitrogenous waste product are insects like cockroach, crustaceans where you have the woodlouse Oniscus, the land snail Helix, and the reptiles where you have lizards, snakes, and birds are some of the examples for ureotelism. In some birds like sea birds, they excrete guano as the waste product. This guano has got very high concentration of uric acid and can be used as fertilizer. Commercially, uric acid is excreted from guano, and this is available especially near the marine water where the coastal birds, these seabirds are residing. There they will collect the guano, which is very rich in uric acid, and it can be commercially extracted, and that can be used as a fertilizer. Primates, including man, will excrete little amount of uric acid which is formed in their body by the breakdown of nucleic acids. So the source of nitrogen is both amino acid as well as nucleic acid. So in case of primates, including man, when the nucleic acid is broken down, it is converted into uric acid. So you will see that there are traces of uric acid present along with urea. Urea is the main nitrogenous waste product. Along with that, traces of uric acid also excreted in case of mammals, including man. So these are the three major types of excretion. That is, you have ammonotelism, ureotelism, and uricotelism. There are other minor types in that. The first one is aminotelism. Here, the amino acid as such is excreted. Here, amino acid will not undergo deamination to form ammonia, and the amino acid as such will be excreted. Certain invertebrates like mollusk, to name a few, Unio, Limnia, etc., and echinoderms like Asterias. So whenever they have excess amino acids present in the body, it is excreted as such, and the process is called as these animals are called aminotelic animals, and the process of excretion of amino acid is called aminotelism. Some species like spiders will excrete guanine as the nitrogenous waste product. They are called as guanotelic, and the mode of excretion is called as guanotelism. So aminotelism and guanotelism are other methods of nitrogenous waste excretion, where amino acid and the guanine is excreted as the nitrogenous waste product. There are other nitrogenous wastes which are produced in the body. If you look at the muscle cells, there is an energy rich compound called as creatine phosphate, and when creatine phosphate releases energy, the creatine will be left, and that will be converted to creatinine, and creatinine is excreted as nitrogenous waste product, which is excreted along with the urea in urine. So this is one other nitrogenous waste product. Similarly, there is trimethylamine oxide, which is seen in marine teleost fishes. Here, it is stored in the body for the purpose of osmoregulation, so that there is minimum loss of water and entry of salt from the sea water. And this TMO is another nitrogenous waste product which is excreted. Ornithuric acid in the birds. So when fat is metabolized, you get benzoic acid. So this benzoic acid will combine with amino acid ornithine to form ornithuric acid. Ornithuric acid is another nitrogenous waste product found in birds. Similarly, you have epuric acid, which is formed by combination of benzoic acid and glycine. It is less toxic. Bilirubin and biliverdin are other waste products which is formed by the breaking down of the bile pigments in the liver. So when the hemoglobin, worn out hemoglobin are broken down, you get these pigments, and these are other waste products. Allantoin is a product which is formed by the oxidation of uric acid. So when uric acid is oxidized in the presence of the enzyme uricase, then allantoin is produced. Higher primates, including man, do not have the enzyme uricase, and allantoin is a excretory product especially found in the embryos of the amniotes. Amniotes are those which have got extra embryonic membranes. So there these embryos will excrete allantoin, and in a very young embryo the excretory matter is stored in the allantois, which is the extra embryonic membrane. So if you look at this picture, so the amino groups are removed. The source can be either the protein or the nucleic acids. Proteins are broken down into amino acids. When amino acids are deaminated, you get amino group. The nucleic acids, when it is broken down, again you get the amino group, which has to be excreted as the nitrogenous waste product. So these amino groups will be converted to ammonia, and the aquatic animals will excrete ammonia as such. The classical example will be the fishes, and in case of animals where they cannot afford to lose that much of water, they convert it to urea. And mammals, many amphibians, cartilaginous fishes and sharks, they will excrete urea. And those which are living in much drier conditions, which cannot afford to lose that much water also, they will reabsorb most of the water, and the nitrogenous waste will be excreted in the form of crystals. Birds, insects, many reptiles and land snails are examples where they will be excreting uric acid as the major nitrogenous waste product. So these are the three major types of nitrogenous waste which is eliminated from the body. Some animals will show dual excretion, that is, they will excrete two main types of nitrogenous waste product. For example, earthworms, when water is available, they excrete ammonia. When they live in more drier conditions, they excrete urea. Lungfishes and xenopus, which is an African toad, when they are living in water, they are ammonotelic. When they come to the moist region, especially during summer, they become ureotelic. The amphibian tadpoles, which are in the larval state, they are living in water, they are aquatic and they are ammonotelic. But when they are undergoing metamorphosis, they become ureotelic. In man, they are basically ureotelic, but they excrete small amount of uric acid in the urine, which is a byproduct of the breakdown of nucleic acids. So these are some of the examples for different types of excretion of the nitrogenous waste product. So with this, we have completed the first part of the excretion, that is ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism, which are the major types of modes of excretion of nitrogenous waste. Then you have ammonotelism and aminotelism and guanotelism, which are minor types of excretion of the nitrogenous waste. So in the second part, we will be looking at the formation of ammonia, urea and uric acid. Thank you, students.